It's the Sunday service with Supertanskiii. This could be a warning. Doobie 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 doobie.
Hello, and welcome to the delayed Sunday service with me, Tan. I'm just double checking that it's gone live as it's supposed to because I am a spanner. Yay! Okay, it's all working. So who have we got in the chat tonight? We've got Ronson saying your dad asked for Lee Anderson's haircut. We're not far away from that. Hello to Fever Dream Animation. Lol, Farage looks like a dog chewing a wasp in that picture. Why do you think I chose it? Richard Gumpy Gear, what up? What up, James Cullinane? Stephen Merriman, Bazza the Bear. Michaela Flangy, brilliant name. Toonami, James Cullimore, Corey, Lana, Rachel, Kieran, Croissant. Hello and welcome. And thank you for your patience in, my delayed appearance on the stream. Been a bit of a week, to put it bluntly. Been a bit of a week, and I really hope that my thing is holding out tonight because it's all looking a little bit slow my end. But yes, Richard Marsden, what up? Absolute weapon. That's a brilliant username. I hope you're all doing good. Thank you for, as I say, putting up with my delay. I've not had a great week. Someone just said if it's mock the week, where's Dara O'Brien? He's not welcome on my stream. I've not got anything particularly personally against him. It's just my stream, isn't it? But yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm not going to go into too much of that this evening, but safe to say that Zara Sultana was quite accurate when she described your party lot as being like a sexist boys club, because that sexist boys club, I'm sad to inform you, extends to pretty much all of left-wing progressive politics. And groups and campaigns and such. Eternal is a woman's disappointment in politics, not least because everyone tries to destroy women when they're involved in any way in politics. So anyway, what a week. I'm just trying to think about where to start, really. I think one of the things that really disturbed me the most this week was seeing the reports of the escalation from, standard flagshagging into altogether more disturbing behaviour. And that disturbing behaviour, as we all know, is well beyond the point of just staying online nowadays. It's moving into, as it always does, acts of violence. And one of the stories I saw was an ex-Marine who was, and I'm going to call it what it is, it's right-wing extremism and it's radicalisation. So he was radicalised to the point of getting together a mob to attack an asylum hotel. And there was another, which was a woman who was radicalised to the extent that she got knives and, whilst pissed and stoned, went out to an asylum hotel. Now, one really important point that I've been seeding, especially in my most recent video, which was more of a kind of deep dive, is how radicalisation, no matter which political allegiance you have, is the same methods of radicalisation. Same honing in on people that don't really feel like they've got much power, much agency, and getting them to the point where they will, for their chosen cause, commit acts of violence against what is seen as the common enemy. So with Islamist extremists, it's like the West. With far-right extremists, it's whatever scapegoat is being pushed by their hate monger. In this case, the most prominent the most common deflection tactic is, unfortunately, asylum seekers. Instead of going to the point where they're looking up at the people that are playing them for mugs, they're punching down on people that are in worse situations than even they are. And a lot of them aren't exactly in great situations. So what I want to do is push in my content over the coming week how it's the same thing. The difference is how it is responded to, dealt with, and prevented when it's, say, someone that people think aren't, properly British, like a Muslim, British Muslim that's been radicalised for ISIS, versus someone that's been radicalised by Tommy Robinson videos, like the woman that went out with knives was. So this is the difference. It's not treated with the same seriousness. The previous head of Prevent was actually a rabid Islamophobe. Islamic extremism is overrepresented, not necessarily due to there being more of them, but that being more of the focus, as we see with institutional racism, sexism, misogyny, particularly racism, inflating figures often, or making it look like there's more of a particular race that commits certain crimes, when we all know that that's not the case at all. So yes, it's played down. They actually made a conscious decision, which was argued against by Neil Basu, who was the head of counterterrorism, who is a legend, by the way, the first ever man of colour to have that position. He's spoken a lot about this, and he's someone that needs to be listened to on this. And as I've said before, was one of the few people that called the Southport riots terrorism. Because when a far-right extremist goes out and tries to commit harm against a group that's done nothing to them on ideological grounds, they pretend they're patriots. When a even British-born person of colour for a different ideology or radicalised for a different route does that, is called terrorism automatically. But have you noticed how they've done away with the old lone wolf thing since these attacks started becoming more common? Like the Hainault attacker, white man, that was a heinous act of terrorism. Wasn't called it though, was it? So here we go. Someone just said there's a Hartlepool game on. Hi everyone missing the football for this. I didn't know Hartlepool were that. I didn't know that Hartlepool were that. What's the word? Popular. Oh shit! Is Max doing a live stream at 8:30? Oh, I didn't cross the calendar. I'm not going to be on for ages and ages and ages. But I am going to be on for a little while. I'll try not to cross the streams too much. So yeah, I forgot. Normally we all check in with each other. But because I'm delayed and I'm doing this when I'm feeling well again, I've decided to pop on and talk to you about tonight. Because I'll try not to cross over and step on Max's toes too much, because he's a friend of mine. And a lovely man is our Max Robespierre. I would say if you're not following him, follow him. But the fella is like, he's got about 1 million followers. So you'll probably, if you follow me, already following Max Robespierre, who's a legend. Nothing but love for Max. So yeah, I'm going to do a kind of like a more chilled stream tonight. And what I'm hoping to do coming up next week is start my Wednesday stream, which is going to be an entirely different format, where I just piss around with you guys and shoot the shit on a Sunday. I'm going to actually be having guest slots for the Wednesday streams. And I need to follow this up, but I'm hoping to have Nafeez Ahmed, who wrote Alt-Right, on. I've been talking to my girl, Sangeeta Maiska, about coming on, which I'd be very excited about. And yeah, so that's the kind of format. Alex Kerr, who wrote the book that I've got here, Manufactured Fear, a friend of mine, known as Political X on YouTube. You should check him out. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next, the next coming Wednesdays, is a kind of like Fash Watch. So it's going to be all about how we stop the far right, how we fight back against the far right. Someone just said here, do a live stream after 9:30. This isn't my usual slot, and I'm already live, so I can't do a live stream after 9:30. There's a process to this, and it's not simple. So yeah, it's not really. Oh yeah, and power to the people, obviously, with Graham is linked in the chat. But my focus also thank you all for interacting with my most recent video, which took so much work and research in linking together Kirk, Farage and Robinson as examples of the international far right network. There's more to build on that, which includes links to Trump, which also direct links to Trump, and also the far right in Europe. So it's going to be, basically this channel is broadly going to be, as it kind of always has been, not a safe space for fascists. In terms of Trump, what a fever dream Charlie Kirk's memorial was, like the Merch Memorial, in which one particular, I can't remember what his name was now, I'll have to look it up live on stream because I'm so professional. There was a guy earlier, what's his face? Stephen Miller, right? He did a verbatim Nazi speech. Because nothing says peace and love like a verbatim Adolf speech at your memorial, really. So it was a fever dream of ridiculousness. I don't want to go into too much speculation about Erica Kirk, who pushes the trad wife bollocks, that's a key radicalisation tool that they use, by the way. I don't want to go too deep into that, but there's been loads of talk about what she did before she was Charlie Kirk's wife. I'd heard of Charlie Kirk before because I knew about the Origins Turning Point, and I'd seen him handed his own arse by various young people in debates. So that's how I knew about him. But yeah, the Miller speech was particularly insane. The whole thing was like a kind of it felt like it had an Adolf rally theme to it. It was bizarre. It was like watching. I was going to make a joke and say it was worse than watching a Coldplay concert, but it wasn't. No, it was definitely worse than that. It was just really weird, and sadly, we're importing that absolute bullshittery here to a shocking extent. It was one of the maddest things that I've ever seen, and that's saying something. And then the Tangerine Tosspot, right, drops another bombshell, which is that paracetamol causes autism. I feel my IQ physically drop when I am forced to witness him. It makes me angry. You know that scene in Austin Powers when he's in the nightclub and there's like the lady in like the checkered thing, and he's trying to like bazooka her, and oh fuck's sake, Tiny just zoomed in, but I suppose it works. He's trying to bazooka her and it's like, why won't you die? That's how I feel every time I'm forced to endure Donald Trump. So, not good. I mean, I didn't know that Tiny zoomed in to that extent. I mean, that's a more kind of like reasonable zoom level rather than you having like extreme background. But it's been a week. Your party, that fallout was predictable and stupid. And I stand in solidarity with Sara Zoltana, as I say, because fuck me, she's right. There is an issue with this. Right, where's this? I've just got a super chat. Sorry, Urine Infectinov. Thank you for the £2 super chat. Stephen Miller looks like Hitler's left bollock. Yeah, although I think it would probably be right, wouldn't it? You know, considering, yeah. But don't forget, it was just a Roman salute, yeah? Yeah. Both sides are bad. Yeah, only one side is repeating speeches from Adolf. So, anyway. But yeah, there was a whole Yield Party shambles, which I knew, I called it from the start, knew it was going to implode. Because Corbyn, but I'm glad that people are getting an idea of what I've been talking about in terms of, you know, being fooled by Jeremy Corbyn. Hate to say I told you so. I would say, hate to say I told you so. But they love saying I told you so loads. So fuck them. In terms of this week, there was the whole indefinite leave to remain, which Reform talked about, and then got uninterrupted coverage for like, what, an hour and a bit on the BBC and Sky? Fuck me. No other party gets it. We had Beth Rigby saying that Farage lives rent-free in the heads of the Lib Dems, and then we had Laura Kuntzberg. No, that's not me mispronouncing. Deciding to refer to Ed Davey as a clown when he's pretty much the only politician calling out Trump and calling out Elon Musk for having child sexual abuse material on Twitter in abundance and then refusing to remove it. I just need to really quickly text Max. 1 second. Just letting him know. I just want him to know. Forgot you do yours. Sorry, Max. Da-da, 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 da-da. Right, okay. Anyway. Jeremy Corbyn, says Eddie G, consistently snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Yeah, well, there's only so much party that his ego can take up, isn't there? Then we had Mad Truss. Mad, semi-sentient waxwork. Liz Truss. Praising Tommy Robinson, doing the right-wing media rounds. I can't believe that she still has the barefaced cheek to even be seen in public. I've told you about this before. I once accidentally made a scene in a cafe, right? I'll probably never see any of the people who are in that cafe again. Might be different staff, might be a different time of day. I can't go back there because, do you know what? I have social shame. That's one thing that Liz Truss does not have, is any degree of basic humility and shame. She is fucking mental. Actually, like, fucking mental. And people calling on Bad Enoch to get rid of her. Have you seen Bad Enoch lately? Do you know who we're talking about here? Do you know? Have you even seen Kemi Badenoch? Absolutely deranged, mate. I mean, arguably one of the worst people since Liz Truss. And that's saying something. Because Liz Truss is like dangerously delusional. Dangerously. Urine Infectinov, thank you for the £2 super chat. Why, aye, man, Liz Truss, proof that the dead can keep on living. Aye, pet, aye. Thank you very much, Tommy Wiley, for the £5 super chat. Thanks for being an antidote to the horror. I can't maintain that accent. It's just fucking ridiculous. Thank you. I try. Like, I worried about my video the other day because I thought, am I bringing more horror? Thank you for sticking with me on a Tuesday. I'm really wondering if I should have done this tomorrow instead. I did wonder. I feel like really under pressure now because of I know that Max is coming up. But what I want to get in is how there was an interesting poll this week about tactical voting and how it could cost Reform like 60 seats. No one knows for certain if they'll even be able to turn into seats or even command a majority. Like, if anything, it could be a hung parliament. And as we all know, there is a progressive majority. But there is internal pressure, according to a Guardian article this week, for Keir Starmer to finally take a stand against the far right. They're saying Starmer, a year in, is going to launch a progressive fight back against decline and division pushed by the far right. Mate, before you had even come off of recess after the general election, before you'd formed your government, there were race riots. And now you're thinking, oh, maybe I should start to push back against this. Now that people were being fucking lynched. Oh, maybe I should start dealing with the far right. Maybe you should sack Morgan McSweeney. Every time I go to say Morgan McSweeney, I nearly say Sydney Sweeney. I think Sydney Sweeney would do a better job than Morgan McSweeney. And she is basically like a fash actress from America whose family are MAGA. And I still think she'd do a better job than Morgan McSweeney. To be fair, they'd probably be on the same side on a lot of shit. Gavin Hansford. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat, pet. Keep fighting the good fight, Dan. There are more of us than them. Good news about Kimmel, yeah? Kimmel. They sack their satirists. So do we. They got rid of Mock the Week. And we jailed, or tried to, arrested. They arrested, led by donkeys. Sorry. Sorry about this. This is stressful. They arrested led by donkeys for blasting Epstein and Trump on Windsor Castle. What bet police for it, considering that, you know, the Queen paid off Prince Andrew, the sweaty nonces, accuser before she mysteriously died. To be fair, sometime later. But doesn't look good, does it? Supertanskiii, there is more than enough horror as it is. You can't add to that, says you're an infection. Oh, quite right, you are. Thank you. Oh, Alice M. Kern, thank you very much for moddering tonight, along with our beautiful Diz. Jovian R, thank you for the super chat, pet. You could do this again tomorrow. I could. I've got the bloody dentist tomorrow. That's enough horror for one day, I would say. Thank you very much. Yeah, it is hard to know when I'm streaming lately. Normally on a Sunday, always on a Sunday, but I just didn't want to not stream this week. I have had probably my worst week since I would say one of my worst weeks since I started talking about politics, in my defence. And I've had a bit of bad luck lately, but it will always be on a Sunday between the hours, usually a window between 7 and 9 p.m, normally 8 p.m. And I'm going to start doing a Wednesday one. So, okie dokie, you're an infecting of £5. Every time you mention Morgan McSweeney's name, I can't do it. Another right-wing douchebag gets put on a register. The register's full, man. The register's full. It's overflowing with EDL nonsense. Antilla Desix, thank you. You're much better than Max. Come on now. I'll have none of that here. I greatly admire Max. I think he's awesome. So whilst I thank you for your super chat, I respectfully disagree. We all do things in our own silly ways, don't we? Here on YouTube, but we're all friends. We're all in a WhatsApp together. We all plot together. So I love Max. I think he's awesome. I've admired his channel for a long time, actually. Eric Hassan, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Alice M. Kerr has put a link here saying that when this live finishes, head over onto Max's channel. If you normally watch Max's channel, by the way, I will not hold it against you if you want to go over and watch him instead. So I won't hold it against you. I support Max's output. Someone just said, dentist again, are you Nosferatu? My appointment that I had was an emergency one. She didn't do the treatment on the day. She made me go back for what was supposed to be the start of a root canal, but she didn't take the nerve out and she's filled it and it's better. So I'm hoping all I'll need is a filling, and then she's going to put in the she's going to do my just general new patient checkup and all my x-rays and everything. So there we go. But did someone just say Max who? Maximilian Robespierre. I can't remember his bloody name. You know what I'm talking about. Stephen Merriman, nice to see a euro in the chat. So this is a €5.99 super chat. He says, your party, no, my party, her party, no, his party, no, my party. Which part of your party are you? I'm in your party, but not her party. Stephen Merriman there, succinctly summing up the absolute fucking shambles that is your party, which I never, ever saw going anywhere, and I don't hate to say I told you so. I mean, we do need more progressive parties. But they need to be organised. The left can't organise. All the bastards on the right can organise. The left's just like, ooh. Charlie sends his love, says, you've been infecting of. He's not had a good 2 days, but he says good night. Night, Charlie. I'll try not to wave too much because it will turn my camera off. But good night, Charlie. I'm not gonna suggest that he drinks some, My tea is going cold super quick. But yeah, thank you, Tony Boove Leiden. You seem to be getting the hang of the techie side of things. Tech man levels up. Tech nan, I assume you mean, levels up. Yeah. I'm understanding the process of how it works better. OBS is still a pain in the arse, but it's quite straightforward once you get used to it, to be fair. So I'm really looking forward to oh shit, I've just made the chat go weird. No, there we go. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow, because I'm going to be recording, just so you know what's coming up. I'm going to be recording some content which spells out the difference between misinformation, disinformation, and other forms of the ways that they fuck with us, with examples. Because I think that we need a good explainer. Because I didn't really know what the fuck it was myself, to be fair. So I'm going to make sure that I make it clear for people, because it's not clear to people how they're being manipulated. And I'm also going to talk, obviously, about how the dead internet theory is coming to life. So there is research into the level of bot activity, which I touched on in my last video, but because it was bloody long, I couldn't I covered possibly too many bases in that video. So I would like to try and make that a bit clearer for people. And I'm just trying to look at my notes and see what else I've got on my list for things tonight. Oh, yeah. Of course. In terms of Labour and how they're talking about like the UK being at a crossroads and finally catching up to this, they're realising how it's tanking them, right? But what they need to know is that from the beginning, like starting off as a party that made cuts when they said they wouldn't make cuts, and then went on to put videos out of dawn raids and sticking people on planes, and having that dickhead Fedova Mike Tap going full like Elphick, just like, you know, Tory style Dover Labour MP. What they need to realise is that they're not going to get anywhere without implementing disinformation and social media regulation to begin with. Full stop. They're not going to get anywhere without it. Like, that is how you stop it. There's no point doing what they're talking about doing, which is getting a centre-left coalition across Europe. Because, yeah, Starmer's good at diplomacy and bringing people together. What he's not good at is standing up to the US. And we're essentially, like, there's a great book about this. I think it's even called Vassal State. Like, we are America's bitch. Peter Thiel is deep in our NHS and other institutions, knee deep, and he is mental, like fully mental, wants a technocracy. Got a video coming up on him too. I've been writing like a bastard in recent weeks. So what we need to do is implement social media regulations, disinformation legislation, media regulation. And that's not controlling the press. That is regulating it to a baseline where it's not purely bias, so people have access to factual information. If you don't have a free and fair press, you don't have democracy. If you don't have trust, you don't have democracy. This is the point, and people are capitalising on it, and we are seeing this with reform. We're seeing this with the far right broadly. They capitalise on despair, decline, dissatisfaction. People that are running around putting flags up aren't doing that because they are proud of their country. They're doing that to own something or feel like they own something because their lives are shit. People that are happy don't go around spray painting zebra crossings or threatening to unalive, I hate using that word, but I have to in this context, people that are like seeking asylum. It just doesn't happen. So those people are in denial. They're falling into lazy nationalism. And it is something that Labour are not going to be able to get on top of due to the sheer scale of radicalisation without implementing ballsy legislation, which obviously Vance won't like, because all the tech bros that fund him, like Teal, he's Vance's big backer, see capitalism as failing, which it is, but they're not the solution to it. They want to essentially run the world and eschew democracy and have us all as the billionaires' bitches. And Trump, look what he did to Brazil when they jailed Bolsonaro, who essentially did a Trump. They fucked him. They fucked them. They put huge tariffs on them. Extraordinary tariffs, like crippling tariffs. He's wielding economic control. And that's before you even get on to what he's doing to the people of his own country. It's fucking mad. So, Starmer is doing well with European leaders. But if you don't take a stand against the evils of Silicon Valley, you're going to get nowhere. So that's one of the big problems that we have is, you know, there's no point saying we're at a crossroads a year in after we've had a year of you know, this becoming an intolerable climate for people of colour in this country. You just can't. You can't with a straight face whilst you're still... And I get why he's doing what he's doing with the US. I get it. I get why he has to do that. Because you're placating a mental toddler. And in doing that, he's trying to shore up support for Ukraine and maintain support for Ukraine. And not wobble our economy any more than it can, because we can't afford to lose anything. And it's galling to watch. It's sickening, actually, to watch. But the upside is, you know, it made the royal family unhappy having to placate that nutter. So every cloud, they'd have hated that. They look down on everybody, especially... It doesn't matter how much of a billionaire he is. He's new money to them. They see us with contempt. They'll sure as hell see him with contempt, because they're posh freaks. Anyway, what's going on in the chat? This isn't a crossroad, that is way behind now, says Stephen Merriman. Absolutely agree. Yeah, it's we're well beyond the point of making a moral choice on this, or they are. We all know. We've all been yelling for a year going, what the fuck are you doing? But I think that what's kind of prompted this isn't just how Reform is polling, but it's the Burnham effect. Because everyone's talking now about Burnham returning to politics. And for the first time in quite a long time, despite knowing that Burnham wasn't, you know, exactly that left wing, especially when it came to like the Iraq war, he's very good at what he does. He's a good communicator. He's got something about him. He's got a clear plan. He wouldn't be able to wade in and start fucking off, you know, what's it called? Trump or anything like that. He wouldn't be able to go full Canada. But he's good. You know, he's good at what he does. He's got a bit of swag about him. And he's a bit closer to what we need in Labour in terms of being like a... I was going to say Keith Flint. But that was the former frontman of The Prodigy. Oh, what's his name? Mick Lynch. We need more of a Mick Lynch figure. And the only reason that I suggested that it was for the first time with Starmer is because there's been absolutely no credible alternative to whatever the hell Starmerism is. It would have been continuity. Streeting. Rayner's out the picture. They got rid of her. So it's not going to be her, is it? you know? So it's just not the way it works. And also Labour don't tend to get rid of their leaders, even when it's critical. Historically, they don't. They're not like the Tories. They're not cutthroat. They won't just kind of get them out, you know. Oh, look, it's Daily Blase. Good evening, Tan and chat. I hope all are doing very, very well. Thank you, Daily Blase. Thanks for dropping by. Hiya, Darren. Hey up, Darren. But we do need a bit more Keith Flint, to be honest with you. We need a fire starter, a twisted fire starter. They did do Rayner dirty. But if the test is going to be for Starmer, he's got until the May 2026 elections, local elections, I'd say. Thank you for popping a link to the Daily Blase. I would highly recommend him. He's right good. Because what Labour could do if they got some ovaries about them. I was going to say balls, but it's too gendered. If they got their broveries about them, they could essentially kick out Starmer, safe in the knowledge that everything that came before with Labour was all on him, and they could start anew with someone like, you know, Burnham. But we'd need a by-election, and then we'd need Burnham to run in that by-election because he's not currently a member of Parliament. So he wouldn't be able to, you know, he wouldn't be able to run as an MP as such. Did someone just say the word gonads? Did Diz just say gonads in my chat? I think she did. But yes, it's a tricky time, but I think that wouldn't be such a bad idea. Everyone likes Burnham. This is the point. Everyone likes him. Plus he's got that, even though I think that Keir Starmer possibly came from, you know, on par humble beginnings, Burnham isn't just more believable as someone that's working class. Andy Burnham is more believable as a human being than Keir Starmer. And he wouldn't sell out his morals either. So, you know, I don't hate the idea. I don't. And I think that, you know, we're going to need, if we're getting to year 2 and Labour's still tanking, because I see where they're going with their plan. They're trying to think, well, if we deal with the asylum seeker issue, which is difficult because they refuse to realign meaningfully with Brexit. We all know about the Dublin Convention, which means that we can't just send them back as easily because Brexit did it. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to go down the route of just, you know, we get rid of the asylum seekers, then the problem's solved, and then we haven't got the issue, which is all that Reform and the right have got to hold over us. And I see the logic in that, but they're finding that with no money and no legislation and not the movement that they need with European allies, that's going to be very difficult. So tricky. They're not in an easy position, but the problem is the asylum seeker issue isn't even that big an issue. It's objectively not the biggest issue this country is facing. It is way down the list, but it's been made it. Because I actually had, for once, a meaningful exchange. My local paper's Facebook page, I've been on there slightly more than recently, than I used to be. And a guy was like thrashing out the same old argument. And I said, look, as a woman, as someone that has unfortunately been on the receiving end of male violence, as someone that's like campaigned for refuge, do you think that I would say that this isn't a race issue, this is a man issue, if it wasn't the case. And he was like, fair enough. And I said, and then he started saying, well, why are asylum seekers committing crimes on the news or in the papers all the time? And I just said, you've just got your answer, mate. They inflate crimes committed by those people when they are not the majority. They're not even half. Think about why that is being put in your eye line all the time. It's so that you won't question or look up at the people that are really causing the problems. You're being mugged off. You are being mugged off. It's a group of people that are being used for nefarious ends. And he was like, oh, didn't reply, liked my comment. A few other people did too. And then the entire plane clapped. No, but that is what happened. But so many people, and also you don't know if they're people, they're bots mostly. They won't listen. Okay, Stephen Merriman, thank you for the super chat. Starmer always veers to the right. He tries to placate those that despise him. He has to turn left. Tories cut all routes for asylum seekers. Yeah, as I was saying, Dublin Convention was a Brexit problem, and they didn't implement safe routes for anyone else. And the Tory donors were running asylum hotels, and the security services were Tory donors. And they were a useful bargaining chip. And then after they left power, people decided then that they would riot after the Tories had left, whilst trying to burn people alive and shouting "Stop the boats," which is a Tory slogan. I agree. Starmer needs to understand how the Overton window works. My friend Trumpton, he's awesome. He did a nice little animation with this. In the centre of the picture, it's got Starmer and it's got Farage. And you see Starmer shuffle a little bit towards the right. And then you see Farage shuffle a bit further to the right as he's trying to get away from Farage. And that's how it works. That's how you push the Overton window. The small boats are essentially the Farage boats. Very well said. Absolutely. Piers Morgan has Beep on his show as a pundit. I'm not going to give that disgusting, accused, inverted commas, rapist any time on my channel whatsoever. I will not talk about him. I want to see him imprisoned and suffering. He's a ratbag cunt. So, I appreciate your point, but I'm not going to talk about him. I think I've just made myself clear about how I feel about Andrew Tate. Zach Plansky is actually proving to be kind of impressive, really. I can't knock the guy, to be honest with you. I personally am not a fan, but his approach works. And we need to play the right of their own game. So I can't criticise Zach Plansky's approach. I think he's doing precisely what needs to be done. And I also have no beef with the Green Party whatsoever. Jenny Jones is a bloody legend. I had a really good night out with Jenny Jones. She's a lot of fun, actually. So, yeah, Jenny Jones, and you know what? She's probably someone that I really, disagree with on a bunch of things, because I think she was a bloody Lexiteer. But I like the woman. She's ace. Carla Denyer was really nice too. So I'm going to try and not cut into too much of the stream. I'm already crossing over. So maybe if you guys want to do... Hello, Sarah Davis. If you guys want to do any kind of quick fire questions at me before I wrap up. I'm sorry that I'm out of sync this week. I will be back on... what's it called? I will be back on Sunday as normal. And from next week, I'm going to do what I guess is kind of like a podcast format, in the sense that I'm going to have a guest with me and we're going to be talking about how we fight the far right. So it will be people that have written books about the far right. It will be people that have been, you know, impacted by it. It'll be people that it's their kind of specialist subject. And if I can't, I will. If I can't get a guest on, I will just have a puppet in which I'm like, hello, what do you think about the far right? You know, that kind of shit. Hello. But yeah, there you go. Right, Tate is Diddy Light. Andrew Tate looks like he smells of lynx. Looks like he smells of... I'm not going to say it. Don't say it. The boat should be called the Farage Regatta. Very good. Tate is a weird looking creature. He does look like he found the One Ring. Yeah, they'll call him Gollum in prison for that reason. Is that the name of the little fella? No, it's not Gollum, is it? It is, my precious. Bloody hell, Marvin Richards. Way, man! Look at that! Thank you so bloody hell, mate. Bloody hell. I was going to do my... but I'm going to save you it. Bloody hell. Thank you for the whopper. That's a big one. That's what she said. In the style of blind date. Question. I'm learning how to use a Japanese barbecue and have signed up my puppy and I for gun dog training. What? How do you decompress from the tsunami of daily shite news? That's a lot to take in, Marvin. I mean, for the first bit, I don't know what that is. And the second, what? Okay, you win the award not only for thank you, but for the maddest question I think I've ever received. Gun dog training. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's the lads that... But it's like, you've made me think of bomb dogs in Brarside. Was it Brarside that had bomb dogs, or was it the day-to-day? Anyway, in your blind date style of how do you decompress from the tsunami of daily shite news? I don't. I just absorb it into myself. I don't really. It's weirdly my hyper-focus. I'd like to say something like, well, you know, I do a bit of yoga and then I go out into the garden, I sniff the hydrangeas, and then I do some gentle stretching some more, and then I go in a flotation tank. I don't know why I sound like Princess Diana. And then I have a bath. And then that's that, really. I've just realised I can do a Princess Diana voice. Quite devastating. That's how my week's been. Quite devastating. But I don't. No, I just vape, chain vape whilst furiously writing down notes and survive through the method of memes and our political chat group, which has got like Max, Graham, Phil Morehouse. There's another one with like Jimmy the Giant and like Zoe Gardner and a bunch of other people in it. And yeah, we all just natter. And more so the first one with Aid Thompson and Other Disappointments. He does my intro and my outro madness for the Sunday service. He's made me a mad one for the Fight the Fash Wednesday intro. It's even worse than dooby dooby doop doo doo, which is catchy, to be fair. But no, I don't smell the daffodils and have a bath and pretend to be Princess Diana and await my eventual demise in a tunnel by the royal family. I take the piss even more in a WhatsApp group and plan my revenge, really. But no, thank you so much, Mr. Marvin Richard, for that. That's a really much appreciated way a super chat. That's like a way fucking a. That is. It's a bloody another level. Thank you. And on to Kieran Croissant. My tuppence since you demonetised stream, says Kieran. Definitely did, but I'm glad that I did it by calling Tate. I'll do it again. A cunt. There we go. Right. Righty-tighty. Andrew Ray. £5 super chat. Are you a Labour member, Tan? Any chance of you running for MP? I reckon you could be our Jasmine Crockett here. You going to conference with Graham? Not a member anymore. Used to be. I'm not a member of any party anymore. I'm going to try and go up to conference just to hang out with my mates. But it's really expensive to get the bloody train there. And no way am I running as an MP. Ever. It's the same reason I don't want to do normal broadcasting. I'm more effective doing what I do myself. I like being in control of what I do. And, you know, I don't like being told what to do or regulations. So, no, in the style of Mel B. No, no chance. Plus, have you seen what women go through in politics? I mean, I would just be overlooked, you know. I'm more powerful independently. And as a good friend of mine, Mr. Asif Kapadia, the director, Oscar award-winning director of Amy Senna and the brilliant film which you all must watch, 2073. If anyone could pop a link to that in the channel, the trailer, I'd really appreciate it. As he said to me this week, as one of my true allies in the bullshit that I was having to deal with, Tan, there is no reason for a man ever to tell you what to do. And I was like, damn fucking straight there isn't. So no, thank you, no. Stephen, also a news junkie. It is a rather good impression, isn't it? How's your week been? Pretty devastating, yeah. There was 3 of us in this marriage. Marvin Richard, you do smile. You want to be careful with that. Saying to a feminist, oh, give us a smile, love. When men say to me, oh, smile, love, it might never happen, I do this. What happened to you? Why are you so stressed? I will go into that at a later date, but I will go into that. Oh, yes, I will. I'm just thinking about how I do it. Because someone just did the, I'll be a private dancer, dancing for money. But yeah, things are going to get massively worse. I've only just realised on a live stream that I can do a moderate, passable impression of Princess Diana. Charles. But yes, worst Billy Connolly impression I've ever heard. Right, I'm going to fuck off because it's got to 9 and I don't want to dip into Max's stream for much longer. I've already dipped in enough. I've already dipped into Max enough this evening. So, you could have a spot on Spitting Image for the voice, I mean. Worst to weirdly worst, to be honest. Stephen Kent, people used to ask me to smile. That is like her, isn't it? I did do a reasonably good Meghan Markle at one point, but I lost the way. Lost my ability to do it. I'm a woman and a feminist. No, I can't do it anymore. Let me see if it comes back. I wish this squirrel would go to bed, said Stubble Dragon. Kirsty Hamilton, cheers, Tan. Hi to the cats. They were in here, and then they're both, for some reason, laying in the bathroom because it's warm. Don't ask me what's going on in their heads, because I don't fucking know. But no, it's been lovely to see you. I will be back this coming Sunday in my regular, normal bloody slot. And then I will be weighing up whether or not, if I can get a guest on, I will be doing next Wednesday in a more of a kind of podcast format, in conversation with, fuck the fash thing. It wasn't short. I've gone for an hour, Sarah. I was here at 8 o'clock, and I was for once on time. I was on ruddy time for once, which isn't often. Thank you to Diz for moderating. Thank you to Alison Kerr for moderating. I said your name wrong nearly. Alistair Kerr. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. Even though I have been all over the place, I'm going to stick to a bloody schedule moving forward. I always hear "In the Name of the Father" by Black Grape when you do the Sunday services, you and Infectinol. I don't know what that is. Probably want to listen to it now. Keep smiling, Tan. Runs away. But no, thank you for watching. You can watch back on Catch Up. I, out of solidarity and apology, would like to suggest that you all pop over and check out Max Rose Pierre, who is streaming now, and also follow my dear friend, the affable shitflap that is Aid Thompson and Other Disappointments, who did the terrible, terrible shit intro and outro that I inflict on you, that is dangerously catchy and terribly photoshopped every week. That's Mr. Adrian Thompson and Other Disappointments, who is a dear friend of mine, who is obsessed with his own father's balls. Anyway, until next time, I love you guys. Stay safe. Don't go shagging flags to please me. This bitch is out!
It's the Sunday service with Supertanskiii. This could be a warning